Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome to RVdaydream. Today we want to talk about something that is helping us with our full-time living, or let me think how to say that. Oh, it will help us.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
One of the problems that we are having is trying to find good drinking water.
Right, if you guys have been with us for a little while, if not, click like or subscribe down below. Check out our adventures. Basically, we are living on the road full-time, and one of the plans that we had as far as our drinking water was concerned was we have a 5-gallon drinking water jug that you find at at Walmart, and it has a battery-powered pump that's on top, and we've been using that for, well, prior to us going full-time, we used it a lot, and it's always fit the bill. We also carry 2 7-gallon aquatainers, and what we do is refill all those when we get someplace and we find a water station. So there's the problem. Finding these water stations, they're just not everywhere. They're usually inside stores also. So you've got to get a cart, or you got to get inside the store instead of being able to pull up with your vehicle and maybe filling up the jugs outside. So some of you guys might be confused. We don't drink our onboard water. We've never drank our onboard water. We just don't feel comfortable doing that, especially, you know, the holding tank, because the water at these campgrounds, I mean, we're traveling around to a lot of different places. Some of the water, as someone had said, is chewy. It's so bad you could chew it.
Yep.
So what we've done is kind of got into a situation where our onboard water is slightly getting better, and we're going to take it to the next level, to where we can drink it straight out of the faucet. Now, we're very particular about our water. We always have been, and we're very particular about how our water tastes. And when we lived in our house, we had a 5-stage reverse osmosis system with an arsenic filter in it, and we used that for many years. Of course, we sold our home, and we were thinking about installing a reverse osmosis system inside the RV. However, because of space, weight, and just access underneath our sink, it had been kind of tough. But we have a solution that I think is probably just as good. And not only that, it's so simple that you don't have to worry about a whole bunch of filters as long as you get a really good one. So first, let's show you what we have as far as our water system and what we've been doing. Okay, what you're looking at here in the dark is the current water situation that we have. And what we do is we use this battery-powered pump. That's all this is right here, a battery-powered pump, to take the water out of the, regular water dispenser jug, the 5-gallon water jug, and put it into our cups. Pretty simple. We'll put the links down below for this, because this may work for a lot of you, especially if you're in the situation like we were, where we were just camping occasionally. But and now we're on the road, it's hard to find a place to refill these. We also have 2 of those blue aquatainers, and what we would do, again, would fill all of them up with water, and that way we always would have a decent amount of drinking water, until, again, we had a hard time finding what we were looking for, and that was a place to refill all this stuff. So let's go ahead and show you what we have outside as far as our water that we take showers with, and how we're going to change that and make it drinking water. Okay, so as you come around the side of the RV, ignore some of this foil stuff. This is to protect our water softener, and this is for a thermal barrier from our water system. So currently, this is what we're running. One of these plain old Camco inline filters. The problem with that is it's a powder. It's a black powder. And if you guys don't know, whenever you have, you first put this on, this filter the first time, you definitely want to run water through it before you hook it up to your system, because there's carbon dust in there. Now, the other problem that occurs with the carbon dust is, like right now, when it's laying on its side, the water can actually channel through that dust. It can make a channel through it to where it doesn't even go through the filtration process, but just a little bit. It more or less makes a path for the water to get through it. Other than that, those type of filters do pretty good. Now we have this going into a water softener. Again, the links will be down below for all this stuff. And the water softener, it is a portable water softener. This is the double standard size. It's the most compact with the most capacity, I guess you can say. They make a bigger one than this. It's from the company On The Go. However, the problem with it is it's very heavy. The one that's above this one is very heavy. So nice thing about this, after about 200 gallons, you're supposed to rejuvenate it. It does a pretty good job. We've gone a little bit longer than that and had no problems. The other thing I suggest is like hoses like this. Again, I'll put the links down below for this. It's really easy to make it work whenever you're connecting and disconnecting, again, at multiple locations like we are. Of course, a pressure regulator, that's always suggested, but that's a safety issue. So once the water is coming in from the campground through this filter, through our water softener, then into the main city connection, you can see that our RV is equipped with an entire RV, filter. This is a whole RV filter, whole house filter, let's call it that. That is something that does a pretty good job keeping out sediment and keeping out particles, and it does filter at a pretty decent rate. However, we needed to step it up from that to make it drinking water. Now, of course, you always have this little tiny filter down here too that's on your water pump, but as you can see, this filter is already starting to get dark, and we don't have a lot of water that's gone through it, and these filters are kind of expensive, and we're going to keep it. We're going to keep the filter in line just because it's built in, but we want to upgrade what we have prior to that out here, and prior to this out here, and then also something that we'll put inside to help us out too. Okay, so this is the system we're going to. It's nothing more than filters. It's not a mechanical system, nothing like that. It's just a filtration system, but it has much better filters built into it. First of all, this is a solid carbon block. It is not a powder like the other one. It is a membrane that it has to force the water through, and it filters it down to 1 micron. Now you can get smaller, you can get down to where it's half a micron, but 1 micron is really where you want to be, that or less, for drinking water. The nice thing about this, you can go 3 to 6 months with this filter before you have to change it. Not an expensive filter overall, not for how long it lasts and everything that it does as far as knocking down basically the contaminants that you're going to find at a lot of these campgrounds. Now, if you want to double the life of this thing, or if you want this to last even longer, this is a dirt guard system. Now this one is a 20 micron, but it takes out the big stuff. You can see dirt, sand, rust. Those are the big things that you don't want in here. So you can kind of see how it's on the picture here. And the nice thing about this filter is it's washable. You can basically clean this off quite a few times. Again, you're looking at that 3 to 6 month range, probably closer to 6 months, and then you can go ahead and clean it and reinstall it. And then after a period of time, which it takes quite a bit of time before it gets to the point where you need to replace it, you can buy just the replaceable element that's inside here, which we'll take a look at in a second. Now, because we may fill our water tank in our RV, we want to have this on the counter. Now this is basically the same type of membrane that's in here is from here. It's basically the same filter, but it's inside here. And again, 6 month filtration. You can do the same thing as far as replacing just the filter. Again, not very expensive, and you're getting down to that 1 micron level. The nice thing about this one is it gives you a valve that connects onto your sink, and you just flip the valve and turn on your water, and it goes through this filter only when you need it to. If not, you can use the water for cleaning or whatever that's coming out of your tank without having to waste your filter time. Our case, we're going to have a little bit different situation because we know we have one of those sprayers that pull down off of our our kitchen sink. Well, we don't have a problem with installing this in our bathroom. We have room for this in our bathroom that it can sit on the counter, and we can just use the bathroom for drinking water. Yes, you can drink your bathroom water. I know people freak out about that, but yeah, this is a really cool little product. You can see the adapter that they have and how it connects to the sink, and you just flip the lever, and at that point the water will come out here, you know, this component here, instead of your kitchen faucet. So let's go ahead and get these things installed, and I'm going to show them to you. But first, since this one here can be a replaceable filter, internal filter, I'm going to open it up and show you what that looks like. Alright, so here's some of the components that you get. The filter wrench, nice. A hose adapter, which we shouldn't need that, but we may. And then another adapter to help get that all connected. And then you can see here, there's the information that comes with it. And this is the filter itself. And there is the medium that you'll clean. It's kind of a weird look to it, soft. And like I said, you can go quite some time before you have to worry about that again. As far as replacing this, you can clean it, just kind of wipe it off, because this is a big particulate filter, 20 micron. Now, once you have this connected, this will be the first thing you connect to your hose, or to the source, whether it be with this or however you do it. And then the other filter, this one here, the 1 micron filter, it just screws up inside here to give you that ability to save this filter and make it last longer.
Clear 2.0 is currently available online at Amazon and soon to be Walmart. We'll put the link below for Amazon, and you'll have to keep an eye out for Walmart to be able to purchase. You can go to Clear 2.0 and their website also.
But this is what it's going to look like outside. Now you can see there's going to be situations that you run into that maybe not have it hanging direct from a faucet. Like in this case, you can see their water supply is down kind of low. Now here's the best part about it. Since this is a solid carbon block, it can be in any position. It can be upside down. It doesn't make a difference. The water is going to get filtered the same way regardless. This is one of the benefits above those carbon powder filters like we just removed. So you don't have to worry about it laying on its side and making any kind of a tunnel or anything for the water to get through without being filtered. Okay, so it's a little bit tight confinement in here, but you can see once we move into the bathroom, this is where we're going to set up our other filter. When you open the box, there's going to be fittings up on top. What these fittings do is allow you, they're adapters, they allow you to adapt whatever faucet you have to the connection that this provides with the hose. So it'll make it to where if you have a weird sink or a weird faucet, this will allow it, for the most part, to connect. Now, if for some reason these don't work, none of these work, Home Depot sells all kinds of fittings just like this, or adapters, because we've used them in the past for stuff on our, like in our basement and our sanitation tub, to hook up a garden hose, stuff like that. So we have these here. Just be aware that you might have to get a different one for your specific faucet, but the fact that they include the most popular ones, that's really nice. Okay, so here it is, all hooked up. You can see, yes, there's a hose. Yes, there's a hose on the counter space. It's not a big deal. You know, you're not talking about losing all of your little bit of counter space you have. I'm sure we could do some other stuff with this. We could actually put this up here if we wanted. It would clear. We already checked it, but right now we'll set it down here. Heidi pointed out in the instructions something that guys don't ever read. Once you have this hooked up, run for 10 minutes. You want to run it for 10 minutes to get the water, basically, I think, more out of your pipes and clean than more than anything else. But if you have good clean water all the way through your system, they still say run it 10 minutes for this membrane to become fully soaked and fully working, so that you don't have to really worry about that again. And what I mentioned before, there's a membrane, there's a solid carbon block that's in here. It's organic, it's a coconut thing, and natural, obviously, and it will filter 3 to 6 months. It's quite a bit of water, Not only that, then you can replace the filter. Now, if you guys are weekend warriors, this is something that, and I'm saying that in the nicest term. If you're just going out camping on the weekends, that kind of a thing, you have to do a little bit extra steps with this in between uses. So let's say you go camping, you come back, and you don't plan on camp for another, till the next month. Anything when this set's longer than 10 days, anything over 10 days, you need to disconnect, shut off the water. Not a big deal. That's all this is here. This is to make the water run under the sink like that, and this is to put it through the system. So you want to bypass that to make it to where there's no water being pressurized in the faucet. You need to pull the filter out, and you need to leave it sit out and dry. It's got to get completely dry. Then once you get done with having it fully dried, same deal. Put it back in. And this is just the spin on. This clear piece just spins on. So go ahead and put it back in, tighten it all down, and again, 10 minutes. You need to run it for 10 minutes, and that will re-permeate that membrane and make it back to where it's doing its job. All right, so here's the test. What we're going to do is fill this up with water, and I'm sure we still got some stuff stirred around because this is well water that's coming in from this park. So here's the level, 455, 454. And as far as the scale says, between 300 and 500 is the best for drinking water. And it's because you don't want distilled water necessarily. The difference is this is unlimited. This is an unlimited supply. We're already hooked up at the park, so why not? So let me go ahead and taste this. Heidi's waiting to see me die here. It's well water. There's no smell whatsoever. It's softened water.
Because we have a soft.
It's definitely, I can tell it's softened water. But it tastes okay. It's fine. All right, let's see what Heidi says. You can taste it softened.
Yeah, I don't like it much. But it's because we have a softener installed on the RV.
Right.
It doesn't taste bad at all.
Yeah, we could bypass the softener if we wanted, but I don't know. I think the softener is a good idea. Now, we had this problem at our house. Our house water was the same way.
Yeah.
You could taste the water softener.
Yeah.
So the good news is it's doing the job. Now, the water softener may need to not be regenerated, but there could be a reason for that. And that is we just hooked all this stuff up. I mean, we literally put a bunch of air in the system. I just burped a bunch of air through the water softener, and we have all that going through our pipes currently.
We'll give it a day.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's something too. A lot of the water that's currently in the pipes or system that we have is prior to that being hooked up out there. It's prior to the main thing being hooked up, the dirt guard and the spin-on filter. So it could be that we're still getting residual from whatever's still left in the system. So let us give it a day or so. We'll come back and give you our final thoughts, which so far I love the fact that I just drank water from the park. It's the first time we've ever done that. So it's been longer than a day. We've been doing this for about a week. We changed the way that we did our water, and it's because of how picky we are. We drank the water that was direct from the faucet for a couple of days. We were used to spring water. We were used to filtered water, greatly filtered water, reverse osmosis water that we've been drinking for many, many years. So the fact that I could taste a little bit of the softener, it drove us crazy. If I was to bypass the softener, it was a different taste. It was a more natural taste. It tasted more like natural water. However, as you can imagine, we didn't want to bypass the softener. I mean, the softener is doing the job of making our showers a lot nicer. Our laundry, she'll wash laundry here inside the RV. We do have that portable washing machine that we've talked about in the past, which is nothing more than a glorified blender, but it does the job. So we want that softener hooked up. Again, our showers are a lot nicer with that softener hooked up too. So what we did is we invested just a little bit more. That little bit more investment that I'm talking about is one of these zero water filters. This is a mixed brand that I'm talking about. You know, we've been talking about Clear 2O and their filtration system, which will allow you to drink the water from your RV. However, the zero water brings that TDS number down to close to zero. Now, here's the thing with that TDS number. That's total dissolved solids. Good water should have a number in the 300 to 500 range to get minerals, to keep minerals that are good, calcium, iron, stuff like that, that your body needs. However, we run this and drink this a little bit more often than we do directly from the faucet. Now, if I'm lazy and I don't want to refill this, I go ahead and do just what I said, and that is drink right from the faucet. But what we do is we fill this with the Clear 2O drinking spigot that we mounted in the bathroom, and then throughout the day we refill this pitcher. Again, this is something that is a little bit more. You know, you're talking about another $18 for this, but let's go over all the dollar amounts real quick. The whole system that we bought, we were at about $111, somewhere in that neighborhood, for the Clear 2O system. That gives us that dirt guard filter, the big filter that's reusable. Again, this is all good for 3 to 6 months. The filter, the carbon block, the solid carbon block filter that screws into the dirt guard that's outside the RV. Again, 3 to 6 months on that before we have to buy another filter. And then the system that's sitting inside in the bathroom. This zero water pitcher, that makes the price jump up to about $130 for everything. Now, we can get about 20 gallons of water for $5 when we go and get them refilled, when we get these jugs refilled. So you could see where it's not expensive. However, over bottled water, if you guys are buying bottled water, you're going to save a ton of money right off the bat. However, if you're doing these bigger jugs like we are with the refills at the different stores, although you're getting a good deal, you know, 20 gallons for basically $5, it's not a good deal when you have to hunt down stores to find a place to refill them. We've driven 20 miles at one point to get water refills, and you find yourself in the middle of the night, you know,
Running out of water.
sharing the last, you know, cup of water because you didn't leave the campground, and now you're running out of water. I think between the ice and the water, I think Heidi and I drink about 2 gallons of water a day between us, between coffee, making ice, and just drinking water. So 2 gallons, you could see, I mean, that goes fast. And the fact that we have an unlimited source, because almost every one of us go and hook up to something at a campground. We almost always have a water hookup. Even if we don't, I have 60 gallons on board with this RV that'll allow us to go a long time and have drinking water. So it is a win situation all the way around. And the money that's involved is very little. Now, we could go into a reverse osmosis system, but I'm telling you, you're talking about $200, $130 to $200 for a reverse osmosis system. And the hardest part about that is, you know, you got that 2-gallon tank that's got to be pressurized. You got to find a place to mount it. You know, you got extra weight inside your RV. It can be done. We could see maybe doing that in the future, but I doubt it. This system goes with us to any RV. If we decided to go to another RV tomorrow, you know, big deal. We just
Very portable.
Yeah, extremely portable. So I think that this is a very, very good choice. And again, we are now drinking the water that's coming from the campground. The first time we've ever done that, and all the camping that we've done. And it is such a pleasure to know that we don't have to worry about bringing jugs with us the next time we go out, so we can find a place to refill. I'll be honest with you, a couple of the places that we went to, a couple of the stores, it was a little shady. We were in some rough neighborhoods, and it's because we don't know the neighborhoods. We're just trying to find water to refill. And the fact that you are loading and unloading your vehicle, you're sometimes inside of a store, so now you're using shopping carts to carry all your jugs inside, and it was a headache. It worked, but it was a headache. It was definitely better than bottled water, buying individual bottled water, but this system that we have now is even better than that. So, as we always tell you, the links are down below, as it showed in the video a few times here. Click the links, it'll take you right there. This will help support our channel. All of these products we purchased, this is not something that was given to us. We purchased this because we had a problem we wanted to solve, and this did it. So again, links are down below. Click the links, you'll get the exact same stuff we have. And if you like our old system, if you don't mind doing that water bottle refill stuff, the links will be down below for the aquatainers and also the 5-gallon jug setup too with the pump. Again, we've been using it for years, and it worked great for camping when we knew where to get water at. But once you're on the road, finding water is a little bit difficult. So that's it.
As always, we hope to see you out here. Bye.
Bye.